if the path extension is equal to the string Lua to a Lua do file instruction instead of our approach where we do the string. So we're just going to find out if it's actually meant to be a file that's going to be executed, and if it is, we'll try to execute it as a file. Otherwise, we're actually going to then run the actual string itself as script. So just to save a bit of time, I'm just going to get the data out of that other project from our original one here. Just save us a bit of time. So those scripts are pretty basic, but we've got them in place now. And in order to get them working, what we need to do is just implement a couple of these additional functions here. Now again, just to save time, because this tutorial is going to get too long otherwise, is I'm just going to grab out from our Lua engine here our additional imports. So this is what our set position function looks like. It's not really much different to our get position function. Certainly it's got the same exact function prototype in C, and this is something I mentioned, that these functions are all going to look pretty much exactly the same. Got a little epsilon error value there, and if the difference between our points is actually negligible, then it's not going to change it. But so we get the light user data just the same as we did in the previous one, and most of this extra stuff is just argument checking to make sure that we did indeed pass in. But this is the idiom that I quite like using, and you remember before we used -1 to come back down from the top, but numbering from the bottom of the stack inside of this function, what we find is that the first element pushed on the stack is argument 1, second is argument 2, and the third one is argument 3. Now really here there's not a lot of math going on, there's just a square root, but you could imagine that you might have some more complex thing, like maybe an A* pathfinding function, or something that was doing quite a lot of heavy processing. And by finding this function here inside of our C implementation, that could enable you to actually just save a few processor cycles by not requiring that to be done in Lua. Forward, we do a bit of minimal checking, obviously, and making sure that all 4 of the arguments, I've used a nice little loop here because I knew the code was going to get repeated, all 4 of the arguments in the stack are actually numbers. Our logic depends on the location of the dragon. So in order to get that to work, what I'm going to do is actually go in here to our dragon file, and I could do this inside of the CCBI, but I'm just going to be a little bit lazy. Okay, so that's going to use Lua's ability to assign via the list constructor, and it's going to assign these global variables because we're keeping the same Lua state all the time. So when I run the script for the dragon, it's going to constantly update our dragon with these new locations, and it's just going to set them to be the position of the dragon within the game field. So let's see how this works. Okay, you can see that now our bombs are chasing us, which makes the game Much harder. Oh, just missed that coin. Damn. Okay, much smarter bombs, and everything's working a lot better. Okay, so that's going to be the tutorial for now. Okay, so that's the end of our coding demo. I hope that please go and download if you like the tutorial materials. That's got everything that I've referenced today. If you had trouble reading anything on screen, you couldn't quite make out stuff on the YouTube video, well, everything is there. And those projects should just compile straight out of the box on the latest Xcode. So have fun playing with that. And also, please do me a personal favour and go check out my blog. I'd love you to subscribe. And usually what I do is, on top of stuff that I have inside of my actual video, I'm going to include some extra additional references that fix any mistakes or any observations that come up later. I'm going to post those inside of a blog post that actually encapsulate all of the videos for this tutorial. So if you're viewing this directly via YouTube and you haven't seen the blog post that goes with it, please go and check that out. Okay, thanks very much, and I'll catch you next time.